When the legendary pirate queen Sen Yi Sao, alias Madame Ting, awakens an antediluvian sea devil extremist, Dr. Stardust is pulled off course and Team Stardust must try to work together with hysterical Rogue to save the entire Earth from global flood. But amidst the high stakes, high sea adventure, it soon becomes clear the stakes for everyone involved, even the 13th Doctor, and the yes, are much more personal than legendary Seven Treasure, or even the all-important Keystone. Welcome friends and companions! Sci-fi and fantasy fans meet on this channel for fun chats about their beloved books, movies, series and franchises. We also talk about food and drinks, music and sport. Random, because we will discuss everything that involves entertainment, including movies and series, books and music. Random, because we will broadcast on non-fixed times, actually on many different times. You need to subscribe to this channel to know what time the broadcast is. Random also, because we have no guests or different guests. It depends who wants to join me in the live stream or panel. If you want to join me in a live stream, feel free to contact me via Discord or YouTube and we'll look what is possible. The Discord server is called Random Entertainment Channel tag Doctor Who. So for this live stream, cheers mate and have lots of fun. Your host Enigmatic Joker. So today talk about Doctor Who special Legend of the Sea Devils. So the whole episode, I will discuss a few things about this episode. First, I'll discuss some general info about this episode of the special. Then I will discuss the plot, and I will give a spoiler alert when I will talk about the plot. Then I will mention some cast members. I do some world building, some notes, and in the end we do some continuity because there is some context and some reference to the past. And also, okay, also every story in Doctor Who is have some connection with other stories, and also some references. That's for last. Okay, we do now some general info. So, Legend of the Sea Devils was a 2022 Doctor Who Easter special, the second special of its kind following Planet of the Deep, that in 2009. It reintroduced the Sea Devils, last seen in their own story on television in 1984's Warriors of the Deep. I talked about that story last week, by the way. So it's not a coincidence that I talk today about this special Legend of the Sea Devils. Subi. So, again, so it reintroduced the Sea Devils last seen in their own story on television in 1984 Warriors of the Deep. We did a cameo on 1993's Dimension in Time into the BBC Wales revival series. Unlike the 2010 redesign of the Sea Devil's cousins, the Silurians, in the Hungry Earth, these returning enemies remained largely faithful to their original designs, with CGI augmentations mostly allowing for a greater variety of expressions. It also furthered the plotline about Yasmin Khan's infatuation with the 13th Doctor, with the two finally discussing their feelings openly, and the Doctor admitting that she had also had a romantic interest in Yes, although they ultimately decided not to pursue a relationship due to the Doctor living under the threat of time running out for her. So that is the general info and also context background of this story. Keep that in mind. So, spoiler alert! I will now discuss the plot, and I highly recommend you to watch this episode, this special, first before you hear the plot. So, let's start the plot. Take some water, and then when we begin. Okay, there we go. So, the population of a Chinese coastal village in 1807 hide in their houses as under heavy rain the lone figure of a pirate queen walks into their town square, intent to smashing the statue at its center. Despite his son Ying Qi's protest, an old man called Ying Wai insists on walking out to confront her, knowing that she might unleash something inconceivable. Wai tells his son that if anything should happen to him, the duty will pass to him. Meanwhile, the pirate queen is digging into the statue with her sword, trying to make out inscriptions on the rubble. Wai tries to warn her off, holding her at sword point, and she threatens his life in return, but their squabbling is interrupted when glowing green cracks spread across the statue, which is of a sea devil in pirate dress, victoriously holding a small human figure. The stone eye blinks before the entire stone coating explodes, falling away to reveal a real living sea devil, dressed like the statue and holding a glowing cutlass, who promptly kills Ying Wai. On the beach, the Doctor Stardust materializes. The 13th Doctor and Yasmin Khan walk out, decked out in period clothing, and are immediately upset to realize their efforts misfired because they have somehow ended up 400 years off from their intended date. Further banter follows from Dan Lewis walking out dressed as pantomime western pirate, complete with an eye patch and a hook. Yes, sheepishly confessing to having gotten him to dress like this as a joke. Things get strange when the Doctor is suddenly pulled towards the water by her metal earring. Experiments with scone skipping show that there is a strong geomagnetic disturbance nearby. So, hearing screams coming from the nearby village, they rush there to find the chief sea devil just about done slaughtering the population. They draw him away from killing Yin Kai and the pirate queen. However, even managing to catch him in a fish net. However, to the Doctor's bafflement, he easily cuts his way out with his glowing sword and then summons a flying ship, which he says belongs to him. Leaping aboard, he sails into the distance. The Doctor is left to analyze Ying Wai's body, recognizing his wounds as marked with exotoxic poisoning, a non-sea devil biological weapon. Thus, she is able to confirm Yinki that the swordswoman did not kill his father. The woman in question introduces herself as Zheng Ti Cao, alias Madame Tsing, whom an enthusiastic doctor recognizes as a notorious pirate queen. Tsing further explains that she is seeking the lost treasure of the Flor de la Mar, which was supposedly found in the 16th century by the great captain Tsing Ji-hun, only for his ship to sink nearby. Aboard his ship, the Sea Devil addressed his crew, who answered his call, coming out of hibernation. He is then summoned the Hua Sen, a huge sea creature at their command, who eats a lone human fisherman as it returns to the surface. Meanwhile, Jing has returned to her ship, watching it from the shore, then is roped by Yinki into swimming over the sneak on board. Noticing his absence as she and Jess return to the TARDIS, the Doctor chastises Jess for not stopping then wandering off, but quickly changes the subject, giving Jess a crash course in the history and nature of the Sea Devils. The TARDIS systems fail to trace the Sea Devils' pirate ship, which has cloaked itself, leading the Doctor to suggest they talk with Madame Chin again. When Jess reminds the Doctor that Chin seemed uninterested in talking with the stranger at any length during their brief earlier encounter, the Doctor proposes that they acquire the lost treasure of Flor de la Mar themselves, so as to use it as a bargaining chip to get Chin on their side. To find it, she makes a short hop in the TARDIS so they can see for themselves what happened to Yi-hun and thus discover the exact location of the shipwreck as it must still exist in 1807. So, on board Jin's ship, Dan and Key briefly argue about their intentions and once they find the pirate herself, with Kay opening intending to murder her, to Dan's shock. They also notice the conspicuous absence of any crew other than Tin, who's doing her best to sail the large ship all by herself, using complex rope tricks. While they are bantering about Dan's age, they are jumped by Chin, who promptly thrusts them up by the ankles and hangs them upside down from a spar to interrogate them. Admitting that she has now a crew, though she does not yet explain why, she offers the two intruders a chance to live if they will help her sail the ship to the location of the shipwreck. The Doctor and Jess materialize on Ji-Hun's ship in 1533, witnessing a strange scene as Ji-Hun forces all his crew, including his second in command, Lai Bao, to jump overboard or be stabbed. The chief sea devil, teleports in and Ji-Hun kneels to him, stating that he has fulfilled his request and emptied his ship for the sea devil's use. He also claims to have what we agreed. The sea devil makes clear that he does not intend to hold up his end of the bargain, considering that he is not bound by promises made to a mere landcrawler. The two lock swords as the ship begins to sink, and the Doctor and Yes hurry back to the TARDIS. After sharing their bafflement at how little what they just witnesses resembled their expectations, the Doctor and Yes return to 274 years in the future, when they left then, at the exact location they know now the ship went down. The TARDIS lands on the ocean floor with an oxygen bubble allowing the Doctor and Yes to stand on the set ocean floor, marveling at the underwater scenery. The Doctor makes a joking comment about not being a bad date, which startles Yes, who briefly takes it seriously as her romantic feelings for the Doctor bubble back to the front. The Doctor realizes this and awkwardly looks away before getting back to the matter at hand and pointing out that even though they are at the right location, there's no trace of a sunken ship. Suddenly, the floor drops beneath their feet, revealing itself to actually have been the back of the Hua Sen. As the two women rush into the TARDIS, the creature clutches it in its jaws, like a cat carrying a kitten by the scruff of its neck, carrying it away. Meanwhile, on Madame Ching's ship, the Pilot Queen is irritated and baffled as her compass and other similar equipment seems to be going haywire. Even celestial navigation proves a no-go as the stars inexplicably move around before her. Dan and the King's Yi King Kai's fairy eyes. So when Dan and Kai question her desperation, she unveils a human ear in a box and explains that her entire crew, including her two sons, mere trottlers, has been captured and will all be put to death unless she brings back the treasure of the Flor de la Mar as ransom. Jing's ship is suddenly attacked by the Hua Xiang, which displays the ability to hurl their cannonballs back into the sky and make them explode when the humans try to shoot it. Dr. Stardust has been shaken to the Sea Devil's underwater base, where the Doctor and Yes emerge to be confronted with his chief Sea Devil, who is intrigued when they mention that they know of Ji-Hun's previous contacts with his kind. The Doctor babbles about the technology keeping the base running, but the Sea Devil sees through her attempt to buy herself time to think, putting things back on topic and showing them Ji-Hun's ship, the very ghost ship they saw him flying earlier, explaining his pirate sea devils have made it their own. The Doctor bluffs the sea devil into believing she knows the location of the keystone and asks to be taken to see the ship before she'll talk to him about it. There, the chief sea devil shows them Yun in person, whom he has kept in stasis in a living death for hundreds of years as punishment for tricking him. Doctor and Jess get the opportunity to talk to him privately while the Sea Devil attends to the parades through which the Hua Seng is controlled, learning that he was never in league with the Sea Devils but merely tricking the chief Sea Devil into thinking so in order to buy his crew time to escape with their lives, to safeguard the Keystone. The keystone, he explains, is a gem of extraordinary power, which was part of the treasure of the Fleur de la Mar and is what the chief sea devil is really after. The chief sea devil returns to announce that the Yuaseng has detected the keystone's presence on the surface, and he is therefore calling the doctor's bluff. Before he can kill her, and yes, however, she hits the necessary controls to abruptly make the ship return to the surface, freeing Ji-hun in the confusion. Back on the surface, then Ki and Xing are baffled when the Sea Devil ghost ship rises up next to theirs. And the doctor, Yes, and Ji-hun swing over on ropes with shouts of Geronimo! However, she barely has time to figure out that the keystone is in fact being worn as a necklace by Yin Qi, who is the descendant of Yi-hun's second in command, Li Bao, to whom Yi-hun has entrusted Jewel before the chief sea devils teleports in and takes it at sword point before returning to his ship. Intent to taking it back before the chief sea devil can sink the ship again to take the keystone to the base and use it to trigger a mechanism that will flood the entire Earth. The doctor and friends swing back over to the flying ship where a sword fight ensues. The chief sea devil announces that he sent down the keystone already, but is soon killed by a vengeful Ji-hun, to the doctor's dismay. She takes control of the ship and sinks it again, instructing Dan to keep an eye on Chin and Ji-hun and help them keep the Sea Devil crew at bay, while she and Yes make their way to the control core of the underwater base to try and stop the mechanism. Indeed, Dan and Ji-hun soon stumble on half of a dozen Sea Devils, but Dan is quicker than them and slays them in all in one blow with a Sea Devil sword that the doctor entrusted to him, greatly impressing Ji-hun, who credits his mum with teaching him to deal with opposition so effectively. At the control core, the doctor has to fiddle with the hardware trying to trigger a short circuit that will turn the base into the densest thing on Earth, causing it to collapse in on itself and preventing further geomagnetic waves from leaving it to disrupt the planet's orbit. While she's working, she surprises Jess by bringing up the possibility of a romantic relationship between them head on. However, she ultimately tells Jess that although if she were to date anyone in this incarnation, it would be her. She's unwilling to commit to any such relationship because sooner or later, time always runs out. Indeed, she's ready to sacrifice herself by holding the mechanism in place as it explodes, until Yuan persuades her to let him lay down his own life instead, as he has no wish to return to a world that is no longer his own, preferring to die a good death, safeguarding that world for those who are native to it. The Doctor and Yes make it back to the TARDIS in the nick of time, with a treasure chest containing the treasure of the Flor de la Mar. Examine it, Madame Chin confirms it will be enough to save her crew. Apologizing to Key for failing to save his father, she offers him a chance to start a new life as part of her crew, something which he gleefully accepts. As the doctor Yes and then say their goodbyes, they wonder where to head next, and Yes suggests that before leaving this time zone, they finally enjoy that holiday out at the beach that the doctor keeps promising and which they keep getting sidetracked from. There, the doctor and Yes head off to thoughtfully skip stones, leaving Dan sitting by the TARDIS to phone Diane, timidly asking if they could meet up again at some point so they will have someone to talk to about his mad adventures. To his surprise and delight, Di picks up immediately, explaining that she was just about to call him herself. Meanwhile, the doctor explains to Yes at greater length why, even though her death was not as immediate as she thought during their previous conversation, she remains unwilling to fix herself to anything, anywhere, or anyone. Yes tries to convince her to commit to her feelings despite the risk of future pain, but the doctor, melancholy, asks that they simply live in the present, going on as friends while they still can. rather than risking what they have. As she skims a stone into the distance, she makes a wish. I wish this would go on forever, but her smile is a sad one. So, my dear friends and companions, this was the plot. Now, I will mention some cast members. The 13th Doctor is played by Jodie Whittaker. Yasmin Khan is played by Mandip Gill. Dan News is played by John Bishop. Yin Ki is played by Marlo Chen Rees. Madame Ching is played by Crystal Yu. The Chief Sea Devil is played by Craig Ellis. Ji Hun is played by Arthur Lee. Yin Wai is played by David Ketsi. And there are further some Sea Devils. But, great, I leave it for that. Now we go to the world building connections. So about the individuals, the Doctor invokes her 11th incarnation by using his rally cry of Geronimo. Second thing, the Doctor tells Yes of her wife, River Song, though mentions she was a different man during their marriage. Third thing, Yasmin Khan reveals talents with swordsmanship. Fourth thing, about the individuals. Dr. Yasmin, Zheng Xisao, and Xing Yuyun use Dao, single-edged Chinese words. Then it's a thing something about the TARDIS. While underwater, the Doctor reinforces the oxygen bubble with an aqua shield. Then something about history. One of things after the lost treasure of Yihun, known as the Keystone. Yihun gave the Keystone to Lai Bao, whose family handled it down the generations. So the Keystone, that is a plutonic crystal created by the Sea Devils. So now world building in technology. 5 things about it. Dan has an app on his mobile phone for identifying the constellations in the night sky. Second thing, the Sea Devils have a geomegnograph for measuring the current flow underwater and a current regulator for controlling the flow. Third thing, the Sea Devils also employ orbital electron stripping to keep their base airtight and also to keep the microclimate under check. Fourth thing, the Sea Devils uses cut glasses with hexotoxic poisoning as a weapon. Fifth thing, the Doctor Yes Dan, Sen Xi Sao, and Zheng Yihun fight with Dao swords. So, building in relation to popular culture. The Doctor says Stephen King films like history are never like the books. Second thing, the Doctor sarcastically states no ship Sherlock, and Yes fails to notice the conspicuous absence of Yi Yun's ship on the ocean floor. And last thing about that is the Doctor makes reference to Pimp My Ride, saying that the Sea Devils really pimped Yi Yun's ride. Yes reminds her that reference to show in 1807 is an anachronism. And another things in world building, last thing is Zheng Yizhao spots Polaris and Ursa Minor in the sky before the constellation begin to be disrupted by the Sea Devil's activities. So, that's some we're building now some notes about this special. So this was the second Easter special in Doctor Who history, following 2009's Planet of the Dead. Legend of the Sea Devils was also the shortest Doctor Who special, excluding mini episodes up to that point, with a running time of 48 minutes, the average length of a regular episode. Then, um, that was it for some um, notes. Yes. Now, the last thing about this special about the continuity. So the context. And I also explain in every that every story of Doctor Who, you can place that in context. There are some references to the past, and there are also future episodes after this special or references to this episode. So, yeah, to put things in context, and there are also already also references, and I already mentioned, yeah, the reference to the Warriors of the Deep. That is a Fifth Doctor story. I did that story last week, so you can find that playlist and the Davison era in one of the playlists of the Davison era. So, okay, continuity. The TARDIS team are on the hunt for the Flor de la Mar, just as the Doctor had planned to do after escaping the Daleks executioners. He has also reminds the Doctor that she keeps promising her and Dan a beach. Reference to the TV Eve of the Daleks connection. Second thing, yes, recalls the Doctor's intention to take the TARDIS to Centennial beaches of St. Munrovar. Also linked Eve of the Daleks. Third thing, the Doctor tells Yes that she crossed paths with the Sea Devils once or twice. We can see that link. So that's the link, the Sea Devils and Warriors of the Deep. But however, one account posits that Yes has also encountered them once before as well. They see that in Enigmatic alternating current. Fourth thing is, Dan claims he is 42. However, he's seemingly discounting the 4 years he was trapped in the 1900s with Yes Anastasius Jericho. And indeed, he noticeably stumbles before saying two. Link to Survivors of the Flux, Eve of the Daleks. Fifth thing. The TARDIS is able to sustain being underwater with the doors open without flooding. Link to TV episode Listen, using an oxygen bubble. Also linked to the Runaway Bride, The Beast Below, and Oxygen. Sixth thing is the Doctor gets angry at Sing Yun for killing an enemy after they had been dealt with a non-lethal manner, as she had with Carl Wright and General Logan. Linked to TV episode The Woman Who Fell to Earth, War of the Centaurans. Seventh thing is then states that his mum taught him how to effectively deal with his enemies, and indeed surpasses him in ruthlessness. A link to War of the Centaurans. Yes, and then recall their earlier conversation regarding Jess' romantic feelings for the Doctor, with Jess correctly guessing that Dan told the Doctor about her crush on her. That's a link to the Eve of the Daleks. Next point. Diane gets back in touch with Dan. Diane gets back in touch with Dan, who remembers that they were not at where they were at when they last spoke. Link to TV episode The Vanquishers. And the last thing. The Doctor is aware that our time is running short. Link to TV episode The Vanquishers. So, that is this 13th Doctor Who special of 2022, Legends of the Sea Devils. Perfectly. So, this is really a nice start of the week. Um, the repeating commercials. Sci-fi and fantasy fans meet on this channel for fun chats about their beloved books, movies, series, and franchises. We also talk about food and drinks, music and sport, and we have a special place for Doctor Who, a special place in my heart for Doctor Who. We are called Random because we discuss everything that involves entertainment, including movies and series, books and music. And in fact, I'm a very huge fan of music. So that's also an idea for the future to talk about different music genres and styles. If you got other ideas to talk about in this channel, feel free to contact me. This is Random Entertainment Channel, and we are random because we'll broadcast on non-fixed times, actually many different times. And also depends on your time zone, of course. You need to subscribe to this channel to know what time the broadcast is. So stay tuned. By the way, like and subscribe to this channel and all the videos. Random also because we have no guests or different guests. It depends who wants to join me in a live stream panel. If you want to join me in a live stream, feel free to contact me via Discord, YouTube, and we'll look what is possible. Discord, oh, what a surprise, is called Random Entertainment Channel. And as if you tag Doctor Who, you can will probably find me. So, cheers, mate, and have lots of fun. Your host, Enigmatic Joker. So, and with the start of this week, I will say to you, it was probably your first day of working on at school or on your workplace. So I hope you had a good one this day, a good day. Every start of the week is a little bit different for some of us. So I hope now that you have that you, the next days will be very, very, very successful for you. And remember one thing: it's almost weekend. Uh, for most of us, is that free from school, free from work. There are also people who are also working in weekends. But most of us, I have probably not working the weekend. So keep to the goal that this week that this is almost weekend. Yes, but yeah, if you want to stay encouraged, watch regular Doctor Who episodes because yeah, there's always some things in it who can strengthen you, encourage you. For me, Doctor Who, it means a lot to me. And what I was saying in all the older live streams regularly is that if you want to watch your favorite movie or series in what streaming or on TV or whatever, first watch a Doctor Who episode, then watch your favorite show, and then watch end with Doctor Who. So begin and end with Doctor Who. In between, you can do whatever you want because yeah, everything takes place in the Doctor Who universe. Yeah, that's right. So I hope you enjoyed this live stream. So and again, feel to contact me. You can send me you can send me a message. You can you write your message under this video, or you can contact me via Discord. And you can send me a private message, and we can talk. We can chat. Yes. So I hope everyone is doing fine. Yeah. Take care of yourself. Love yourself. Love the people around you, and love Doctor Who. Bye bye.